Hey everyone, welcome back. Thought I'd check in, hadn't done it in a little while. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about spring game weekend last weekend in Tallahassee. I did vlog about it, so if you're watching this, please check out those vlogs if you haven't yet, or even if you have seen it, watch it again. So, I want to talk a little bit about that and the NFL draft, and yeah, that should do it. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Um, when I say I had a great time in Tallahassee last weekend, I had a great time, better than I even could have imagined. I mean, I was not going back there, anything could happen, and that was this weekend. To say a weekend fell into place in such a way, yeah, that happened. Some of the people I got to see again that I didn't expect to see, how everything just went in according to plan. Even then, some. I mean, the flights were excellent both ways. It was nice not to have to drive for once there. Was there in 57, 58 minutes. I can get used to that. I hope JetBlue runs like flight specials like that during the season. I doubt it, but I'll definitely would prefer to do that than drive the 7, 8 hours. Before you know it, you're there and you're hitting the ground running. It was nice. So I got to catch up with Peter Warwick, an old friend. I don't like to name drop, but Pete's just an old friend, and we got to catch up the first night and talk. And he made a cameo in my vlog, which I'm very appreciative of. He was happy to do it. I didn't really have to even ask him. Just held my phone up and we did it. So that was that. Uh, got to go around. I didn't really go see. I've been there a few times. Got to really go around the campus quite as much as I planned on, and that's just the way it is. Sometimes you have some ideas and it just doesn't really happen. Um, so I went to College Town a good bit just to get some content there and hang out too. First night we hung out at Bowden's for a while, and it was kind of just us there on a Thursday night, which in Tallahassee is kind of crazy. But I guess the young kids were getting started a little later when we were calling it a night. That was nice. Like I said, I wish we had that when I was there, but maybe in a way it was a good thing we didn't have that when I was there. Um, the next day, I went to the Battles End event, listened to Coach Norvell speak. It was a good time. He was good. It was just a little stuffy for me in there, but people were nice, and I'm glad I went there. And like I said, I got some good content there as well. And that's what I have to remember when I go on these trips now is that it's not just for me; it's for the filming purposes. So even if I don't want to do something as much, if it makes sense for a vlog or a YouTube short, you do it. And I'm doing a better job now at remembering that. Um, so yeah, I hung out Friday. Didn't do too much Friday. Saturday was a Garden Gold game, and that was a day that, man, like I knew it was going to be kind of a hectic day, but even more than I imagined, and that's fine. Like when the game finished around 6, I was like, "Whoa, has it been a day?" I got up at 9 in the morning. I know it doesn't sound that late, that early, but I was up at 9 and started right away. Was before I knew it at the stadium at the Battles End event, meet the players. And I'll be honest, I kind of did that for the content in my mind. I assumed they'd all be at one table, each player that they were representing on the team. And, you might say a quick hello. I wasn't really looking to get autographs. And that would be it. But I said, all right, it's worth it for the vlog. And since I'm a Battles End member, and sure enough, I walk in and maybe I caught it towards the end. I don't know, but it was all the players just hanging out, having a good time, talking to us. And they were, when I say they were awesome, how do I explain it? Like they were not there one bit in their minds, in the way they acted at least, that, oh, we have to be there. Oh, Battles End is making us be there. They were having a blast. They were interacting with everyone, I mean, I was talking with players on the side and hanging out, and a couple even asked to be in my vlog. Azare Thomas and Edwin Joseph said, "Can we be in your vlog?" I asked Ja'Kai Douglas. He's like, "Of course." Charles Lester, of course. Got to talk to DJ Uyunglele. He could not have been nicer. Like I had heard how nice he was. I've seen his interviews, but still, when you meet them, you always wonder, are they as nice as they appear to be? And he was that times 10. I asked to take a picture with his cousin Sione Lolahea because he was just sitting there quietly on the side while I was talking to DJ. And DJ goes, "I'll take the picture for you, no problem." And then Ingram Smith from Battles End came over and took one of the three of us. So that was above and beyond great. I'm glad I got up a little earlier for that. Hung out at Madison Social a little bit. War Chant did have their meet and greet, but they couldn't use the top floor of Hotel Indigo, which I didn't think that would be an issue, but it made sense after because they were probably setting up for the Battles End and Social House vodka launch. So War Chant was on a patio and it was hot there. So I was like, why am I sitting here? I did talk to a couple people from War Chant, but I headed over back to Bowden's, Madison Social, and then I said, all right, we're going to the stadium. On the way there, hung out at a tailgate for a little bit, caught up with some people, then got in the game. And yes, the construction is a little interesting to navigate around Doak Campbell. It's no secret, the construction. I'm hoping they have it a little better during the season. I mean, you got 4 months, just a way to, because one side was completely like unavailable behind the home bench, completely. I hope it looks better on TV this season. I'm definitely going to be curious about that. It is what it is. For 1 year, we're just going to have to deal with it as fans and people going to the games, of course. So yeah, it's worth it. One of the things I did hear there, the plan with the new redesigned Doak Campbell Stadium is to have the ability for concerts that we never really had that in the past, because to bring in the trucks, we weren't set up for that, and now we will be. And concerts at Doak would be awesome. So I need to tweet them this at least once a day. Creed to Doak, the new band. Creed has been around forever. Got their start in Tallahassee. How cool would it be for them to have a concert at Doak Campbell Stadium? Maybe it's a little too big of a venue for them, but who cares? Creed at Doak, incredible. That's like a full circle moment for them. So yeah, we need to keep that going. Trey Rowland does a good job of. He started that hashtag, and I just want to keep it up. And so yeah, that would be cool. So anyway, it wasn't really a spring game. In Coach Norvell is adamant it's not a game, it's a showcase, and he's right. There were a lot of practice stuff they did. So that was probably one of the most, I don't want to say boring times of the weekend, but yeah, I love football in any capacity, so I enjoyed it. But it was still cool. And after the game, DJU jumped to the went in the crowd, took some pictures with the band and with people, and he's just such a nice dude, man. He didn't have to do that, but he did. After the game, I'm talking to an old friend, Will McCray, in the parking lot, and then Travis Miner called, who I knew as well. And I know I did not play at Florida State, obviously, but I knew a lot of the guys when I was there. They were friends to me, just like any other college buddies. And I hadn't seen Travis in 20 years, so I was right by his hotel. So I said, oh, I'll stop by for, a little bit, catch up. That turned into 6 hours later with me, him, Jamal Reynolds, Tommy Pauly, catching up on stuff from 20, 25, 30 years ago, man. I talk about it all in the vlog, and you'll see it in the vlog. So please watch it if you haven't yet. And like I said, if you have, watch it again. Watch as many times as you want. So anyway, moving on, the NFL draft. What a couple days for Florida State. I mean, and Mike Norvell and this staff and this program. I was so happy for these kids, because these kids, we don't need to get into how they were robbed in a way that no college athlete should ever have to go through. It's no secret. We're not going to get into that. But for them to have their, I guess, I don't want to say their redemption, but their reward for all their hard work on and off the field, so many of them. I was so happy. I mean, to see Verse go in the first round, then to see Braden Fisk go with him to the LA Rams with the 38th pick after Verse. I was so happy to see that phone call the Rams posted of Verse getting on the phone with Fisk when they were about to draft him, and tears coming down his eyes. Fisk, it was just, oh man, you couldn't help but tear up. I don't care what team you're a fan of. And then to see Keon Coleman, first pick of the second round. Should he have gone first? Who knows? It was a deep wide receiver draft, so sometimes it's really hard to go as high as you may deserve then. And his 40 time wasn't the best, and come draft time, it seems like a lot of the scouts, they care more about that than your game film, because we know his game film, it speaks for itself. You saw what he did in the field. End of story. And you see how he is size and height-wise. He's perfect size for the NFL. He's 6'3", 6'4". You look at him next to Johnny Wilson, he's not that much shorter, and Johnny's 6'7". So Sorry. So I think Buffalo's a perfect fit for him. I don't care that I'm a Dolphin fan. I would love to see him with Josh Allen and see what he can do in that offense. And I'm glad he's going to a franchise that's not rebuilding, that that he can step in right away and be the difference. Um, Good luck beating Kansas City in the AFC. They only got better, but Buffalo is still one of those top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC, and that's great. And I heard Josh Allen was one who really pushed for Keon, and that's awesome. And the Bills media is already loving Keon. His first press conference was a hit, and we saw a lot of that comedy side he had during the season, just for the 1 year he was in Tallahassee. And now Buffalo got a taste of that yesterday, and I love it. I love it. I'm definitely going to keep up with Keon. He's a Knoll forever. I don't care if he was there for just 1 year. He was a true Knoll on and off the field. And just so many of the other guys that got drafted. I named 3. 7 other guys got drafted. You had Renardo Green. He went to the Niners. Talk about a guy who signed with Willie Taggart. Obviously, Willie was removed after his first season, or during his first season. You get Mike Norvell. He dealt with the rough start, stood with the team. He even moved positions at times. This was a guy who, if you ever thought of the definition of a guy to hit the transfer portal, it would have been him. All he did was stay there, work hard, get better, and was a shutdown corner for us. And he's your second, third round pick. You're going to get an opportunity for sure. San Fran really did a great job getting this kid. Excuse me, I hate to say kid, young man. So I was so happy for him. And then a few picks later, Trey Benson, Arizona. I was happy for him. They took Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's a guy who, is going into an offense that's just only getting better if Kyler Murray can get his act together. And the only thing that bummed me about that was I had just assumed the Dolphins weren't taking a running back. And then the next day, they trade up to get a running back, Jalen Wright. And nothing against Jalen Wright, but you could have had Trey Benson. Did you not see what he did at Florida State? Even in your stadium against Miami? Like, I don't know. Sometimes they see things differently. They got a guy maybe in the 3rd round that they really liked, and then they were able to get the running back they wanted to. I don't know. I just would have loved the Dolphins to get Trey Benson. But I'm glad he's going to be out west in the same division as Verse and Fisk, and the 2 of them will face Benson twice a year. So that's awesome. And Trey had a great tweet about that. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, yeah. You also had drafted Johnny Wilson. And I'm not doing this in order. Tatum Bethune. He went 7th round. Jaheim Bell. And I'm saving the best for last. And that's because what he did. Jordan Travis. 5th rounder. We thought there was a team that would really maybe take draft him. It would be the Jets. That seemed to be the one that came up a lot. And I understand in the NFL draft, a lot of times a player is drafted by a team they never really even talk to that much. So that does happen. But the Jets seemed to be the one that kept coming up, and it made so much sense because they really liked him. He worked out for them and had a good workout before the draft. And he's still recovering, obviously, from the injury. I don't know when he'd be ready to be cleared to play in a game situation. You got Aaron Rodgers coming back. I don't care how long Jordan Travis has been playing. You're going to tell me he can't learn from Aaron Rodgers? So that's just a great fit. Yes, I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm going to root for Jordan Travis in New York. End of story. I don't care what. Jermaine Johnson was so happy to have him there. It was just, I was really happy for Jordan. I mean, what he has dealt with, what he's overcome, I mean, he can already write a book on that. So I wish him all the best. The guys who signed free agent deals as well. I think a lot of them could surprise some people. Fabian Lovett didn't not get drafted because of ability. It was because of, a lot of injury issues he had over his time at Florida State. So you never know. And in this day and age, we've learned a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback in the right system. And I say Mr. Irrelevant because he was that pick in the draft. In the right system, could lead his team to a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy did it this year. So I think we know now, just because you get drafted later doesn't mean you can't make it. Will Compton had a great tweet about that. About, yes, it's harder for you if the later you get drafted or if you go undrafted. Absolutely. But it can be done. And these kids have this work ethic and this culture they came from, that anything's possible with these guys. Um, so I wish them all the best. I was super pumped for those guys and for this program. And you know, you have stuff to sell now to the recruits. You had it last season. You go 13-0. I'm not going to talk about the bowl game. The season before that, you had a 10-win season. Now you have 10 guys get drafted. And guess what? Other than Keon and Jaheim, even if they came from the portal, they were all there for more than 1 year. So you know they worked with these guys a lot and developed them even more than when they got there. And Keon too got developed in some ways. Yeah, he was ready-made. He was a dude when he came in. So his is a little different, but and Jaheim was a 1-year guy. But yeah, Jordan Travis was like an athlete, pretty much just playing quarterback. Mike made him more of a quarterback. Johnny Wilson, he had no interest in the portal except for us. Look what Ron Dugans did with him. Got him drafted. Who am I missing? We're not agreeing. We just told his story. Jared Verse, Albany, out of high school, 0 stars. And he had a cool tweet about that. 0 star. Nobody talked about him. Now look at him. First round. This program is speaking for itself now. And this was just another reminder how horribly this team got screwed. So I think that's it for now. I'm scheduled this Saturday to fly to Seattle for a Alaskan cruise. It's a bucket list thing I'm doing. I'm starting the process now, just getting ready for it. It hasn't really hit yet. I always say it doesn't really hit till I get to the airport. So that being said, I think I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to do just check in a little bit. Thanks everyone for the support. The channel is growing, and it's going to take a while. I understand that, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to help it grow. If you have ideas, suggestions, put it in comments here. Put it in comments in other videos. I read every comment. And I make sure to do my best to get back to everybody. And I don't think there's one person I haven't got back to yet. So take care. Talk to you later. Rock and roll.